Okay, we're live. All right. Give me a second here and we will let people have a few seconds to jump on. Super, super fun. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live with Leo at 5. This is a happy hump day because I have my great friend, Linda Granger on the line here. And I really appreciate all of her knowledge and all her many years, I can't even count, in real estate. And been so super successful in Lake Tahoe area. And I want to kind of share her with you of her journey to where she is as an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman running a fantastic, successful team, selling real estate and helping people buy first homes, second homes, maybe third homes, and things like that. And so I'm glad that you can all join us. If you are coming, I see you guys coming on live right now. Go ahead and comment if you can hear me okay, and just let me know that you're there and that you're watching live. If those of you who are watching on a replay, just type the word replay into the comments. And if you guys have any questions along the way, just go ahead and put in the comments and we'll try to get to them toward the end. So without further ado, I have Linda Granger, and hi, Linda.
Hi everyone.
Coming to you from beautiful vacation Mecca, or outdoors Mecca too, in Lake Tahoe.
Yes, it is a beautiful place. So it's perfect 79 degrees today, not a cloud in the sky. The lake is calm, it's gorgeous.
Oh my God, what I love about Lake Tahoe is the air, the mountain air and the lake. It's so pure and clear. It's like when people say like, oh, what a breath of fresh air, like that's what Tahoe feels like a million breath of fresh air. So, so beautiful area. So a lot of people, a lot of my friends over the years, friends and family, we always go up there. Whether it's summertime or wintertime, whenever there's snow, everybody wants to go up there. Whenever the summer comes and people want to hit the trails and do all those summer things, they want to go. But we'll get to some of the amenities and things like that of living in Lake Tahoe. But tell us give people some context about your background, your growing up, and how you guys ended up in Lake Tahoe.
So I actually grew up down in Southern California in Orange County. So, and grew up there, went to college in LA, and after college didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to learn to ski. So I just packed up whatever I had in my little Volkswagen Rabbit, drove to Tahoe, and here I am 33 years later. So I raised 4 kids, 2 stepkids. All my kids, my 4 are out of the house, 2 stepkids we have still in the house. And when I was raising the 4 kids, my husband at the time, his job was paycheck to paycheck. And my oldest was getting closer to college. I started worrying about college, and I knew I had to do something. It was hard to do something when the kids were little because when you have 4 young kids and we were living paycheck to paycheck, I couldn't afford daycare for 4 kids to go work in a grocery store or for minimum wage, right? So I had to really just take a leap and go for it. And there's something to be said for just having to get it done. And first year worked 14 hours a day, 16 hours a day, and didn't make 1 cent. I didn't sell one single home. And but then after that first year, I started changing things, started eliminating things from my life, saying no to everything except business and kids. And from there, it just took off, and now I can't stop it. So that's the story.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. So you really didn't know what you wanted to do. There were local jobs to be had. I actually know people who have moved to Lake Tahoe, and they took on like tourism jobs, like
Mhm.
teach people how to ski and snowboard, rent mountain bikes or something, or service mountain bikes or bike shops over there, or local shops and stuff like that. And like you said, it can be like grocery stores or whatever. But somehow you chose to do real estate. Did you have some sort of thought before that, like have an interest or anything that kind of propelled you that way? I mean, obviously the perks are also really good because you were raising kids, and so you wanted to have some flexibility in time too. But what kind of sparked that idea to go into the field?
So, when you have four kids, like having a job teaching skiing or working in the tourism industry or whatever, there's just not enough money. Like I would probably have at the time been paying more for daycare than I was bringing in, or it was break even. So if it was going to be break even, I had to do something that I could get ahead. And it was riskier because I wasn't getting a paycheck, but I literally had to do something where I could make enough money that it made sense to, it helped us move forward. So
Mm,
I
great.
jumped in. I had zero interest in real estate, none at all. My mom was a realtor when I was growing up, and my vision of real estate was I would sit in the car while she said, "I'll be right back." And she had to go get all the paperwork signed, and she would come out 3 hours later, and I'm sitting in the car fuming with anger just because I'd been sitting there so long, and I thought, I'll never do that. That is the most boring thing on the planet. And here I am.
Wow. You and I have a similar history story about that. My mom has been in the real estate industry also for 35 plus years.
Hmm.
And God bless her because she had to raise the three of us by herself, and had this idea about doing that in a foreign country where she didn't speak the language. And it's just amazing. So that was generally our story. But like you, um, my thing was that when we were at holiday get together and dinners and stuff like that, there was a time where she had three phones in her wrist, like hanging from her wrist. And at any given time, a phone would ring,
Wow.
and she would leave the table, like we're having like Thanksgiving dinner, like the food is on the plate, we're like halfway to the mouth, and the phone would ring, and she would step out, and she would go outside, and she goes, "Oh, I gotta go." Yeah, and it was like, what is going on here? Like your job like runs you, and it
Yeah.
feels like to us, especially when we were younger, like that job is more important to us, which is
Hmm.
I think what kind of you felt. And so I kind of felt the same way. But as I've gotten older and gotten through a few careers, you know um, started to understand the opportunity you have, and just the way that you get to connect with the community and help people, and things like that is absolutely valuable. So that's my short little story. I just want to say that because it reminded me, like I didn't like it either. I didn't
Yeah.
want to do that either. But then until we uh, realize what it really entails, we get a better understanding.
Hmm.
So you're in Tahoe, and so let's just fast forward now. Like you're like the busiest woman I know, and every time I talk to you, you are always trying to figure out a way to service all the clients that are coming through your doors as much as possible. And of course, with technology, we're trying to just automate as much as we can so that we can actually do the things that are just intangible. So you're a busy woman, and but you have so much knowledge, and I just want to see if you can share with the audience here a little bit about Tahoe, what it means to have either a first home or a second home there, what it means to purchase a home, and what the prices and market is kind of like. Just give us like an overview. If we all that we know is to visit it and played there for a weekend or a week, and then we leave and we don't really know anything else. Could you give people some insights about Lake Tahoe?
Sure. And it's kind of a loaded question because everything has changed so much since March 17th, right? Since COVID went into place. So if you had asked me prior to that, say February, what did my business look like? I would say that 98% of the people that I sold homes to, or 98% of the people who came to me to purchase a home, were looking for either a second home, meaning a vacation home, or for an investment property. And we can talk a little bit about that in a minute. But so one of those two things. Today, I would say 95% of the calls and inquiries that I'm getting, which are flooding in, literally flooding in, are all for people who want to move here full time now. They had ski leases over the winter. They sheltered in place here in Tahoe. Kind of a secret, but it was a light winter, so they think it's all easy and perfect. But they sheltered in place here, and now they want to stay. They've figured out how to work remotely, full-time or for months at a time, and their companies have approved it. So now the majority of people that are coming are looking to move here full-time. My joke is kind of, give us a couple big winters where we get 50 or 60 or 80 feet of snow, then they might go running for the hills instead of the mountains. But right now they're running for the mountains. And I think also a lot of our feeder market, the people who come to Tahoe, is the Bay Area. We actually have a significant amount of people who come from Southern California as well, because it takes probably less time to fly from Orange County Airport or San Diego Airport or LAX to Reno, and then hop in your car and drive to your house than it does to drive from the Bay Area when traffic is in full swing. And now in the Bay Area, as probably in your area, there has been so little traffic that I think people all of a sudden realize, wow, this is what it used to be like. This is what it should be like. And they don't want to go back to what it has been. And so that our number of escrows has gone from, and this is in our board of realtors, which includes the main areas, California side of the lake, as well as Truckee. We also have the Nevada side of the lake. But long story short, just to give you a frame of reference, number of people who were in contract to purchase homes on March 17th was 99. Today, how many weeks later? 8 weeks later? What are we, 8 or 9 weeks later? It's 200 and I want to say 245 today. And that's more than last year at the same day, and no COVID. So it's a really interesting change. I'm not sure if it's going to be like this for a month or all summer or the rest of the year or just moving forward. But literally, I show a home, I barely lock the door and put the key back in the lockbox and look at my phone and the home's gone pending. It's that crazy market that you guys had, right? We never had that crazy market of multiple offers and properties selling for 500,000 over asking and 25 offers like they had possibly in your area as well as the Bay Area. And I network with a lot of agents all over the country. And I always thought, wow, that would be terrible to be in that market. We're not there yet, but it is a fast moving, super fast paced market. So that's what's happening here.
Yeah, super interesting. I just want to comment on that real quick. I think it's you've added a new demographic of people who want to live there. It seems like, because they're realizing that, hey, everything's gone online. I'm not tied anymore down here, and I'm also realizing how important my environment is, and I want to be somewhere else where I could still make the money, whatever it is. If it's an online job or something that I do, who knows? They're on Fiverr and they're doing, stuff for people online, their online business or something like that, and they realize that, hey, we can pick up. This is a good time for us to pick up and move, and you added an additional market. That's like if we had added vacation.
Right. Yeah. And that's a great point. And it truly is amazing to be here. And right now, don't call me. No, just kidding, because I'm so busy. I'm just kidding. But literally this morning, I've been so busy. I love to cross country ski. I love to mountain bike. We love to go boating and wake surfing and all those things. But it's so amazing because this morning, I've been working so hard and so fast. Like, I got to get out. I got to do something. So I literally just hop on my mountain bike, go out my back door, do an amazing 2-hour mountain bike ride that's, climbing 2,500 feet and super fun, fast, and just you smell the pine trees, the trails are a little bit damp, and then ride my bike up my driveway and then, get in the shower and go to work. So that's sort of how we live here, meaning you just take when you get to recreate and when you make that time, it's just amazing and it's right there at your fingertips. There's no driving for me to put my boat in the water, or it's already in the water. I literally go 2 minutes down the road to get the trails. It's the end of my driveway. It's just that is something I love about here.
Yeah, and the last time that I was in Tahoe was quite a few years now, which I regret not going back sooner, but I was at a wedding. Mm-hmm. And it was really, really nice. It was a little private event, about 100 people or so, and we spent the weekend there. And I rented paddle boards and I paddled out on the lake and stuff like that. So that's my last memory of it. And just like you said, it's like everywhere. You could just, it's a outdoor mecca is basically what I had mentioned earlier, which is the big draw, right? You can really just de-stress like instantly, so it's gorgeous. But I didn't know that you can get I didn't know there was such a thing as 80 feet of snow. So now I know, as 80 feet of snow.
Oh yes, yeah, not joking. You've seen some of my videos, Leo, of me shoveling my deck, right? And there's 4 feet of snow on it, and then the next day I go back and shovel 4 more feet of snow, and it's we get a lot of snow. So our average is about, I think our average is about 32 feet a year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So now I want to share this because maybe it would help you out if people knew your little story that you told a few weeks back, that you had a rental, that you had bacon at the time, and that your friend was supposed to go use it, and then a bear broke into the cabin and destroyed everything.
Yes. Oh, actually, well, you got it almost correct. So on my property, I have a little tiny house that a relative of ours lives in, and she takes care of the property, and she loves to do landscaping, and in the winter she cleans the house and does our grocery shopping and all these wonderful things. It's really great. And she's very happy because she really didn't have anything before that. So she has a little cabin, and she knows about wildlife, and we've told her a million times, do not even leave a gum wrapper in your car. Do not leave anything that has any scent in your car, and make sure you lock your door to the house. Well, she came over to the main house, our house, for dinner. She was probably in our house for 30 to 40 minutes. And when she went back, her entire place was completely destroyed. And there were 3 cubs and a mama bear, all in this little 12 by 14 foot cabin, and just destroyed everything. And it was, so from that day on, we then put an they call them electric bear fence around the house, and now it's up to her to make sure she turns that on. So, but it happens. I mean, we woke up, we have a van, a Sprinter van, and we set the alarm the other day, forgot to lock the doors, but we set the alarm. So in the middle of the night, the alarm went off. And of course we jumped up, and a bear had opened the door on the van, which would have destroyed it. But luckily the alarm scared him off. So you just never know. That's the story of our life here. We don't have scary people. We just have animals.
So you own the place and your friend stays there and she takes care of it.
Correct.
Okay. Yes, so it's not for rent.
No, it's not for rent.
Okay. So I was gonna say, like, if it was for rent, hey, anybody want to rent a place? It's very bear friendly. Come on down.
That's right. Yeah. Now nobody would rent it after I tell that story, right?
Yeah, super. So, anything else you could share with us on Tahoe that people you think should know if they're considering us, maybe being there a little bit more than, a weekend or a week.
Yeah, it's interesting. So whether it's Tahoe or actually a lot of my family own homes in Lake Arrowhead, I think 3 or 4 of my siblings own homes in Lake Arrowhead, which is very different because it's small, right? And all of LA goes to Lake Arrowhead. Tahoe is actually there's 72 miles of shoreline. So it's a big lake. And, all I can say is that it's really great to, I work super hard, but to be in a place that people come to me to help them and they're happy and they're excited because they just cannot wait to have a piece of this lifestyle. The only time people are not excited, those are generally the sellers. And for the sellers, it's like you almost have to be a realtor and a psychiatrist because you have to help them through the emotional process of selling because the memories are so great from raising their kids here or bringing them to Tahoe skiing every weekend or whatever that is. But it's really, I feel really lucky to have found Tahoe, and we'll see how many people come here and if it changes, or maybe we'll have a few big winters and they'll all run away. I don't know, but right now it's a beautiful place. And if you haven't experienced it, you should come check it out. It's just still, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. So in the United States.
I guess it's a bit like, having a little piece of real estate in Disneyland or something like that. And then you walk outside the doors, there's all this like a, playground. And then it doesn't matter if you decided to go or chose to go or got a job and decided to go somewhere else, you're going to be sad no matter what, because you're leaving Disneyland.
That's right. That's right. That's a good analogy.
Yeah, so that's what I came through my mind. But okay, well, I think you've given people something to think about. It's definitely a place that everybody should consider. I always thought that, like, one day if I could have a home in Hawaii, that I could be a few months of the year. I'll still have my home in Orange County here, but then I want a place like in Tahoe or up in the mountains somewhere. Tahoe would be amazing, and the other place would be like comparable, would be like Mammoth or something like that. But I think Tahoe has a bit more infrastructure, and things like that. And I think it's a bigger area rather than just a kind of more of a resort. So,
and you don't have the lake. That's the
right,
thing. You don't have Lake
right,
Tahoe. I've been a
right,
lot of
right.
places because I do a lot of mountain biking in Colorado, and it's beautiful, Crested Butte, stunning, and Moab, and all these places. And the only thing missing is that lake. And I'll tell you, you never get sick of it. You never get sick of the views. Every day the water looks different. It's not something that you ever take for granted. And I'm not that observant generally on a daily basis, but you never get sick of it and it always grabs your attention. So
Yeah, well, it was one of the best lakes in the country, with Emerald Bay, which one time we went out there, we rented a boat, we went out there to Emerald Bay, and we jumped in the water. It was really cold, but we jumped in the water anyways, because we were told the water at that part of the lake is really, really deep, and so it holds the temperature really well. But anyway, it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I think it's, if I'm wrong and it's not one of the best lakes in the country, in my mind it is. So yeah, you're right. I mean, and it's so big. It's literally, like our ocean down here, a big body of water. So okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing everything with us. I think not only do I, love Tahoe, I love you even more. You're just a wonderful person to be around. We're in a lot of events and mastermind. We're always talking about our business and things like that, and helping each other grow, which I love because when we're around people who are very inspired and inspirational, we just get better, we just grow. So I really appreciate you and appreciate your time coming on here. I know you got a line of people right outside your door ready to buy homes, so I know how precious your time is, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story and sharing the market with us, and give everybody an opportunity to consider buying a second home in Tahoe, or maybe think about moving if that's available to them. If you're outdoorsy and into health and everything, you can't find a better place.
Yeah. Well, it's my pleasure, Leo, and thank you. And for those of, I don't actually know who's on this, what types of people, but for those of you who don't know Leo, Leo and I are very plugged in together in real estate. And Leo, in so many ways, is so much better than me. And what Leo takes in and the way that you get things done, Leo, I always admire how you learn something, you implement it, and you get it done. And that is so important in real estate, really in any business. And you have so much to share and so much to teach others. So if you guys don't know that about Leo, dig in, because not only is he one of the most giving people that I know, he is also one of the most intelligent and one of the most dedicated. So I just wanted a chance to say that. So thank you, Leo.
Thank you so much. We got that on record, so I hope everybody.
That's right. Call Leo. I kid you not. Call him now while you can still get him.
Thank you so much. So as per tradition, we always ask, and we cover some of it, but we'll just get a statement from you. What you love about living in Tahoe?
Freedom. The freedom to access the trails for 5 hours if I want, and there's no fear of anything. I love the freedom.
That's great. I actually named my corporation Freedom.
Oh,
so it's one of my missions, to always live free, and to always do things in a free way that I always have a choice. Nice. So thank you for that. And then you have a quote to share with all of our audience here.
Yes, and I have a million quotes, but just this one just popped into my head because my life is so intense right now. And my dad gave me this quote when I was young. I don't know whose quote it is, but from when I was just a little kid, this one has always rung in my head. And that's that we often don't get what we want, we get what we expect. So, I mean, if you really think about that quote, it's so true.
Yeah, and it goes through in so many levels and so deep too. So I really love quotes like that are basically, they're timeless, and you can always apply them literally any given time, and that would help you see things in perspective. So thank you for that quote. And we expect greatness, and you are greatness, which we expect, and we get that from you. And so I appreciate that about you. So thank you so much, and thank you for being here. Everybody out there, if you are thinking about Tahoe, just call me, text me, DM me. I'll get you connected to Linda. You're in good hands. You'll be happy to live basically in the outdoors Disneyland of the world, and be able to do all the things that you want to do, and fresh air. Don't forget the fresh air. And so, yeah, let us know. And we're going to wrap it up here. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment in the chat box there. And both of us are tagged on the post in the live video here. We can circle back. We can get connected with you if there's anything that you're curious about. We'll be happy to answer you. If you just want to say hi, if you want to just tell us that you enjoyed and got something out of it, we appreciate you letting us know. So that's it for now. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. We have another fantastic guest for you, and I will wish you a good night. Thanks,
Leo. Take care.
Bye.